You know, I really find this artwork to be quite hilarious. We're talking about the Long Voyage Home, Imprint's 2023 release, spine number 222. This is actually the out-of-print version. I happen to have found it at JB the other day, because it was right next to the standard edition, and, you know, me being a keen-eyed person saying, hey, if they've got two different versions, clearly this is out of print. Went on the website, it is out of print. It's also all regions, which is nice. So let's talk about it, I guess, because I did watch it and all the special features, but not the commentary. So this is what you get for packaging. It's interesting artwork. It's not my favorite. The standard edition release does come with the same artwork as this version. I think it's a better representation of the film because this one makes it seem like it's a romance, but actually that one scene with that one person is even though I don't think it's that actress, Mildred Natwick, which pretty sure ain't that actress. I'm pretty sure that actress is earlier in the film because there's females at the first 5 to 10 minutes of the film, and then in the last 15 minutes. And that's when Mildred appears. And she's very interesting, but I wouldn't really point her as the standout because, again, this makes it seem like it's a romance. It's not a romantic film. You do to get the title on there as well as compare and contrast. You get titles. How great is that? Back of each case tells you special features. The sleeve obviously has the image. Not too much difference. I mean, obviously there's color differences and stuff, but, you know, that's how it rolls. But look, for the most part, not a bad sleeve. Just not the most... just some weird artwork. I guess that's kind of how they had to sell it. Let's make it seem like it's a romance. It's not a romance. But I mean, even this artwork kind of goes for that kind of appeal where they're obviously going for that. But I think this symbolizes the film a lot more, where it's a bunch of men on a ship. In this case, they're actually getting the women on board, but those women are going to give them fruit. But underneath the fruit is alcohol. But it's also kind of got that idea of the salt of the sea is in their blood, the love of women in their eyes. Like they have... It's about the perspective of these people during this period of time in history and in their lives. But yeah, obviously it emphasizes John Wayne as the main person. Ironically, it's more of an ensemble cast film. I thought it was amazing because it's one of those ensemble casts that you recognize some of the people if you're used to films of this time period. Like one of the guys who's very good in it plays, god damn it, I cannot remember his name. It's the same character name as the guy from King Kong. Either way, he's in It's a Wonderful Life, and I was like, I know his face. It's like there were a couple of guys here where like I know their faces, so I recognized them, and I had that kind of comfort to it, which was very nice. It could be Thomas Mitchell. Like even Mildred is like the final credits on the case. But the rest of the packaging, again, the artwork. Oh, it's actually that guy there. He's the guy who's in he's in that film. I'm forgetting so much. I watched this film like 4 hours ago. But yeah, you get artwork on the inside. So let's talk about the picture and audio. So you do get a 1080p presentation of a 133 to 1 film. It was really funny because it started with the Studio Canal logo, and obviously it has to squeeze that into a 4:3 ratio, which I find to be really funny, but at least respectful, because of course it is that ratio for the whole film. Studio Canal has no right to put in their big widescreen logo. I do find that good. It's just always amusing to see that. It does have LPCM 2.0 mono. The audio sounded good. There was obviously the occasional hissing and stuff like that, but everyone sounded clear and coherent, especially the Irish. So I had no problem with the audio. The picture was quite nice. There was occasional dirt and scratches every once in a while, but for the most part it looked really nice. And this is a film that has a lot of high contrast images, a lot of, because it's black and white cinematography, there's a lot of low light sequences, but like specific like lights. The lighting in this film in general is stunning. It is a beautifully shot film, and of course it's John Ford, it's going to look that way. But it's also... is it not going to tell me who the... It doesn't credit who shot the film. How annoying is that? Because the title credits actually has directed by John Ford and, cinematography by this guy. So it actually, like, has them, like, at the same level almost, which is really interesting. But I thought the video was quite nice. It does say it's a 1080p high-definition presentation of the 2016 UCLA Film and Television Archive restoration. So it's the best that the film is probably going to look. Hard to stipulate. I'd probably say maybe a 2K scan. Definitely not a 4K, but, it's one of those things where it would stipulate the higher quality. Even Imprint still say if it's a 2K scan or something. So either way, it's a good restoration. The film looks really nice and sounds great. So I had no issues with it. Again, the very minor blemishes here and there, but for the most part, a very solid presentation of the film. In terms of special features, you do get an audio commentary with film historians Elaine Silver and Jim Ursini from 2023. I did not listen to the audio commentary, so I imagine it's good. Film historian ones are usually pretty good, and Imprint has a good track record of having some good audio commentaries. Then you get 3 featurettes. One is an archival video essay, which we'll dive into last, but we do have University of Warwick film and professor Jose Arroyo. I don't know why that accent came out. Anyway, to him talking about the Long Voyage Home. These 2 featurettes are maybe 20 to 30 minutes each. For some reason I didn't time them. I didn't really think to do so. It kind of blew me by in a way. Nice and informative, talking about the film, talking about it in contrast to the plays that it's based on and stuff like that. It's overall, it's a really nice, just discussion talking about the film. Then there's Cambridge University English professor Jean Coffier on Eugene O'Neill and The Long Voyage Home, again from 2023. And again, that's more diving into Eugene O'Neill, who wrote the original plays, telling you how they were adapted into the actual screenplay, but then also contrasting it to the scenes that weren't. Actually, the video essay contrasts it as to which ones were actually adapted and which ones weren't. But either way, it gives you a good history of the production of the film as well. They're both nicely informative. If you really want to know about this kind of stuff, they're perfect for it. So there's nothing that's not unique, and also for me, who didn't know that these were based on plays, 4 individual plays, it's really interesting knowing this stuff and how it was put together and rearranged. It works quite well. And then of course there is Homecoming, which is a video essay by Tag Gallagher, film critic and author of John Ford, The Man and His Films. This is not too long, maybe 10 to 15 minute archival video essay. You can also tell it's archival because it has like DVD quality footage, same as the posters, but again, nicely delves into the film and talks about it as a John Ford film in like his context of his repertoire by that stage before he went into the war. He's been working with John Wayne, and also talks about like the framing of the film and how it uses its framing and its lighting to like emphasize story beats and character. And it has all these contrasts between actions and movements as well as like fences in John Ford films. My god, I need to study up more on John Ford, but oh my god, there are a lot of fences in his movies and how they all represent something. It's crazy. But it's a really interesting video essay talking about the film, and again contrasting it to the original play. One of them in fact tells you where the play originally ended and how the film differs from that, and this video essay goes into like the contrast of scenes, like, oh, here's a scene here, none of that dialogue was in the original play and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought it was very interesting and again nicely informative. So as an overall, what do I think of The Long Voyage Home? I thought it was tremendous. I'm really getting into John Ford films this year. I'm doing every once in a while, mostly just John Wayne ones so far. But I gave this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I think the print is great, the audio is great, and the special features are superfluous. The packaging is nice, and again, you can still get the standard edition with the alternate inside artwork, which theoretically for the film, probably fine. Like, unless you're a huge diehard slipcover fan for Imprint, which again, they do have alternate artwork. It is limited to a certain number of releases, like 1,500 or whatever. So if you haven't already got it, the standard edition still works just as well. But I do think it is a tremendous film and highly worth getting, either if you're a John Ford fan, a John Wayne fan. And again, he's not highly featured in the film. He's there. He, as a character, doesn't become really important until the end of it, but he's still always there throughout the film. He's just like not this like big boyish captain or anything. He's just a guy. And that's what I love about the film, how it's just talking about this crew who are basically like all dead, and how much of a metaphor it is for the regular people during this period of time. And it's beautiful. It's a wonderful film. It can be so dramatic and so tense at times, and then also like, oh, these guys are just a bunch of buddies hanging out, and then they all hate each other and think that they're spies. It is so tense, and the whole last sequence, I was genuinely unnerved. I was like, oh my god, is this going to end happily or not? And then it kind of does, but then kind of doesn't. So highly recommended. Great release. Go check it out. See you next time.